Hello. Did you know that Smarter Parenting offers coaching? And to begin coaching, we offer a free 15-minute session where we can discuss what needs you have with your child. When you sign up for coaching, I'll send you a questionnaire so we can maximize our time together. So go ahead, log into the Smarter Parenting website and sign up for coaching and receive your 15-minute free session. I hope to see you there. Hi, this is episode 31, How to Teach an Inattentive Child. Let's begin. Well, hello everybody. I hope everybody's doing well out there. Super excited actually to talk about this part of ADHD, which is a topic I think a lot of people overlook or don't really discuss very much because they focus on the hyperactivity side of ADHD, but there is a flip side to it. I tend to think of it a lot like Two-Face from Batman. I don't know if you're familiar with that comic strip, but there's this character, he's a villain in Batman, Two-Face. And so he flips a coin when he makes a decision. And one side is one way, and then he could flip. It's kind of this weird connection. It's all in one body. It's one person, but he can flip back and forth. Now, in ADHD, it doesn't flip so much, but there are two sides to ADHD. And one side is the hyperactivity side, and then there is another side, which is the inattentive side. And a lot of focus is actually spent on the hyperactivity side of it, but your child can be diagnosed as inattentive ADHD, which is interesting to think about. So if your child has been inattentive, it is exactly what it sounds like. Your child has problems staying focused and being able to be attentive to the things that are happening around them. Now, a lot of times parents feel like they ask the question, maybe my kid's just being defiant towards me. Maybe they're just not getting me. Maybe they're just, maybe they're just pushing my buttons and making me more angry. And in reality, the inattentive, because the hyperactivity is not there, then the attentive actually looks like they don't care, that nothing matters, or that they can't keep track of conversations or things that are happening. Now, I like the way that one doctor had put it, in that inattentiveness actually isn't the idea that they can't focus in on that. It's just that they're focused on everything all at once. And so when you think about that, most people have a filter where they can filter out things that are important and not important. But for a child with inattentiveness, what happens is everything is bombarding them and they have no idea how to filter that out. What is important, what's not important. A lot of times they can pay attention to very specific things if they are very interested in that topic and they can focus all of that attention in that area. However, for some kids, it's just overwhelming. I mean, if you were to turn on all your senses to, level 10, which is the highest, let's say, and you were able to absorb every color, every sound, every touch, every temperature change on your skin, every breeze, all at the same time, it could be overwhelming, right? Our brain selectively chooses what to focus on. And it tells us, okay, this is something we want to focus on, and we're going to forget that, right? So I'll give you an example. While I've been talking, you've been listening, which has been fantastic. Thank you for listening. But how many of you have even thought about let's say your little pinky toe? Hopefully you have one. But if you don't, imagine that you do. You probably didn't think about it, right? You probably weren't thinking about your little pinky toe at all during this whole conversation until I brought it up, right? And that's because I brought attention to it. Now, if we were to sit and just evaluate what's happening with us, our body, the sensations that we're feeling, how heavy we feel in the chair that we're sitting in, or where we're standing, or, the pressure that we feel, gravity pulling us down on if we are standing, or our knees, all these things that I am mentioning right now are actually drawing attention to those things. But your brain, before I mentioned it, had actually filtered all of those out. So they weren't even part of the conversation, right? They weren't even part of what we were talking about at all. But I made them part of what you were aware of. And for a child in the inattentive state, a lot of times what is happening around them is everything all at once, and it's too much. And it's so much that it's very difficult for them to pinpoint and focus on the things that are most important and that are most relative. Now, some parents have actually tried to use things that will desensitize or limit the senses so they can focus. Now, one thing that I have noticed one parent do is actually have the child close their eyes and just focus on the sound of their voice, right? And kind of walk them through being able to make some very specific progress in focusing on voice tone. And they're actually guiding them along the process by helping them realize what to pay attention to. So that's one method that parents can use actually in working with an inattentive child or a child that struggles with inattentiveness, is to help them learn how to focus. You can find some additional ideas on the Smarter Parenting website, and I highly recommend you jump over there because there are a ton of parenting skills out there that will be super helpful for you that you can use in addition to what we're talking about with ADHD. So let's walk through one of these processes together. Okay, let's say that we were all sitting in a room. All of this was happening. I wanted to limit your senses, and so I would have you close your eyes, and then I would have you focus on your breath, how you're breathing. And it wouldn't have to be a long thing, but I would just say, okay, I want you to take a deep breath in and hold it for 3. 1, 2, 3, and then let it go through your mouth. And I would actually guide them through the thing. Okay, so I would say, okay, when you take your breath out, you're going to feel your chest deflate or go lower because the air is being pushed out. And I want you to pay attention to how deep that goes. And then we're going to breathe again. Hold it for 3. 1, 2, 3. Take a breath out, right? And as I'm guiding them through this, I am specifically telling them what to focus on. This actually helps them realize, okay, I can focus on very specific things and I can be guided through this process rather than having everything bombard them all at one time. Now, that is just one suggestion of things that you can try for your inattentive child. But one thing that I really want to tell parents who are struggling with children with the inattentiveness is that it does require a lot of patience on your part, because you will probably give that child the same instruction a million times, right? There are ways to not do that, and that is to establish something like a board where you write things down and they have to pay attention to the board. And, verbal commands and verbal discussions is harder for them to follow than something that's tangible or that's physical. And so having something that they can follow, a list, would be ideal for an inattentive child. And a list that wouldn't have things that were vague but were very specific. And if they were to do tasks on the list, that it would be something that they could do fairly quickly. So you wouldn't want to say, clean the whole house, and then have them check the box. No, you'd say, okay, I want you to pick up the toys in the living room and put them in the box in the corner. That's very, very specific. And then after that, they can check it and then move down the list, right? You can do this with a bunch of things. So homework, for example, or whatever. You can decide. Chores that include doing things around the home are super helpful in doing something that's more visual that they can pay attention to and look at and follow through. Again, for parents who are working with children who are inattentive type, be very cautious about long lectures and trying to explain it to them, because this actually is even more difficult for them to do. It will increase your frustration, and it may increase theirs as well because of they're trying, but it's just not working for them, right? So just be aware of those things with the inattentive type. Those are a couple of suggestions actually that I wanted to share with you on here, but I want to invite any parents out there who have children who are struggling with inattentiveness to reach out to us. I would love to do a coaching session with you. Let's talk about what's happening and the things that you are trying to accomplish with your child, and let's work through what it is we can do to help you and your child move on to a point where they can be productive in your home, right? So again, you can sign up for it, or you can send us a message at smarterparenting@smarterparenting.com. Let us know. Let me know. Let's do a coaching session. We can do a couple of those, and then we can see. I would love to follow up and just see how things are going with you as well. So I urge you, please sign up for the coaching, because I think coaching, doing it one-on-one, is super helpful. And actually, what we want to do is we want to be able to share this coaching session with other parents who may be struggling with something similar. Now, it's nice to get coached by somebody, right? But people who watch a coaching session, they learn just as much by watching it. Seriously. And so this could be helpful for a lot of different parents. But again, if you have a child with inattentiveness and has been diagnosed with ADHD, please reach out to us, and I would love to do a coaching session or a couple of coaching sessions with you so we could work through this issue. You can sign up on the Smarter Parenting website. Now, that's it for me with the inattentiveness. I hope everything is going well for you. I want to wish you the best day ever today. Until I talk to you again, peace.